What's going on, Packers fans? Aaron Nagler here with your gut reactions from the Packers' 35-25 victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers. A game where the Packers certainly did not look the part, did not seem up for it, especially on offense in the first half. But man, did they come storming back in the second half. Jordan Love on a heater, 20 straight completions at one point, tying a franchise record, taking apart the Steelers defense bit by bit, play by play, and the defense doing everything it needed to do, especially keeping the team in the game in the first half. Steelers continuously having to settle for field goals. I know lots of folks were frustrated in that first half, myself included, but the way the defense kept them in this game cannot be overstated or overlooked, because nothing they did in the second half means much if the Steelers were able to run away with it in the first half, which they weren't, mostly because of Micah Parsons and company. And look, man, it feels like a broken record at this point, but you cannot overstate the effect that Micah Parsons has on the defensive side of the ball. So many times you saw the Steelers want to try to generate something downfield, try to make something happen, and they were just unable to, because the Packers could play coverage, a lot of different coverages, and rush four. And certainly they've sent pressure at times, but they were able to rush four. And Micah Parsons, at one point, really with the game still in the balance, there's a initial chip from a tight end, and then he gets double teed and held while he generates a sack on first down to essentially put the Steelers behind the sticks, something they could never recover from. The Packers got the ball back after the ensuing punt, went down and scored, and it essentially at that point was over. So many great performances across the board. But at the same time, yes, some frustrating moments and performances as well. I mean, Keyshawn Nixon is going to want to burn this tape, no doubt about it. And that doesn't mean he's a bad player, doesn't mean he's terrible, but he had a very bad night. No doubt about it. Can't sugarcoat it. But the way the team rallied and supported those guys who maybe did have a bad night, you can't say enough about that. Can't say enough about Matt LaFleur finally kind of figuring it out in the second half. Very frustrating on third down in particular there in the first half. Not just because of play calling, though. I mean, drops were a major issue. They started the game 0 for 4 on first down, in large part due to drops, including some of your frontline guys, whether it's Dobbs, whether it's Tucker Kraft, certainly weren't able to string anything together offensively. And that led to a lot of frustration, and deservedly so. But you cannot deny the way this team turned it around in the second half and absolutely put their foot on the gas and did not let up. Undoubtedly, we'll also talk about the kicker situation throughout this week. Don't love seeing McManus come up short there, especially with K-balls that have been essentially juiced at this point to let those things fly. Maybe he most certainly seemed to have come back a week early. We'll see what the decision makers say throughout this week leading into this next game against the Panthers. But tonight, celebrate a big victory. The Packers on national television getting one over on old man Rodgers, who I thought played well. I think his team let him down more than Rodgers making anything bad happen. I thought he played well, but the Packers are a much better team, and I think that played out in the second half. What's going on, everybody? Good to see you all chiming in already with your super chats and questions and comments. What's going on? Let's get to it all. Starting with John. I know they paid Hobbs, but did Valentine prove to be the starter full-time tonight? Thank you for the memories, 12, but take this L. Go Pack, go. I don't know if anybody proved anything tonight, but he certainly had a good game, he being Valentine. No doubt about it. There was little doubt, down in and down out. His physical nature, there was little doubt that when the Steelers needed a play or wanted to do something, they targeted Nixon. There were obviously moments where Valentine gave up things because that's what happens at the corner position in the NFL. But, man, he played a very solid game. And as far as if this relegates Hobbs to the bench, who knows? We'll see week to week what occurs. It is a week-to-week league. You're only as good as your last game. But right now, Valentine has had a very good last game. Terry, what's up? Jordan Love, bourbon. I don't know what that means, Terry, but if there's Jordan Love bourbon out on the market, I am definitely going to buy some. Kevin, what's going on, man? That was such a cool game to watch. Easily the coolest one of my adult life. Felt weird rooting against Rodgers and happy to see him get sacked and such. How did you feel when Favre came back and played against Green Bay? It was very different, Kevin. I sense that you're a bit younger than I am. It was very, very different. We all wanted Favre to get driven into the ground and beat the hell up, and definitely wanted him to, get embarrassed essentially because he went to the Vikings, right? That wasn't the case tonight. Respect everything Rodgers did for the organization. Respect his game with the Steelers, no question about it. But yeah, as far as the idea of the thoughts and feelings around facing your old, Jedi type quarterback, very different. The whole framework is completely unlike what it was when Favre was in a Vikings uniform. Rick, what's up, man? Not a fan of hero ball in the first half. Random Packer, Jermichael Kraft. Well, Rick, I think you're kind of probably colored a little bit by one particular play, and that's the shot to Romeo Doubs at the left sideline. Other than that, I didn't think Love did too much in regards to hero ball. And isn't it funny how when the hero ball in question works, as it did in the second half when Love rolled to his right and chucked it across his body for Christian Watson, that was great. I had a great time cheering for that. But yeah, no, I feel you, man. I feel you. But overall, I thought Jordan Love was on one tonight. He was outstanding, which was great to see, as he's out there competing against his former mentor's team. Just a great night for Jordan Love. Jacko, really appreciate the super sticker. Raha, how you doing, man? That was not a well-officiated game all around, but nothing is worse than the send a guy deep, underthrow the ball, draw a flag play. I feel you, but, to the letter of the rule, I didn't think those were terrible, actually. I thought the Steelers receivers did a very good job of doing exactly what you're supposed to do. Work back to the ball. You're going to get those calls more often than not if you're trying to make a play on the ball or even just work through the defensive back, with his back turned or whatever. That's just smart football. So I hear it. You're not wrong. The idea being like, if you're a quarterback, as Rodgers did in one particular instance, you're getting blitzed. There's pressure right in your face. You just chuck it up and pray, which is essentially what he did. And he got rewarded for it. And that is frustrating. But again, that's smart play from the Steelers wide receivers in that instance. Danny boy, how you doing, man? Let's fucking go, Nags. Big time win and big time second half. Love was a beast, and Emmanuel Wilson gets the MVP, no doubt. Keep it rolling. Go Pack Go, baby. 12 forever, but catch that L tonight. Yeah, shout out to Emmanuel Wilson. Very much a spark plug tonight, much like he was down in Dallas a couple weeks ago. Very good game. But I don't think you're saying this, Danny, but to the folks who were in a chat during the watch party talking about Josh Jacobs is washed or whatever, man, you need to learn ball. Josh Jacobs is still an absolute weapon. Now, they need to block a little better for him, no doubt about it. But yeah, this idea that Emmanuel Wilson should take over for Josh Jacobs, and again, Danny, I don't think you're saying this, but people need to have their heads checked in that regard. But that doesn't take away from what a good night Emmanuel had. Because again, he was an absolute spark plug. No doubt about it. Joe, what's up, man? Tucker Kraft is good at football, and the Bears still suck. Couldn't have said it any better. By the way, shout out to J.J. Watt on the call today for the Bears game at the end when they have that desperate final drive and they have no timeouts left and they kept getting tackled inbounds, and J.J. was just exasperated every time. It was so funny to listen to. That was the highlight of the afternoon, no doubt. Brody, how are you, man? A Rodgers-led team had a meltdown in the second half. I feel like I've seen this movie before. Also, Jordan Love. I mean, that's the thing. I said it earlier. I thought Rodgers played very well, and I thought he did everything in his power to keep his team in this game. But whether it is the coverage the Packers were able to play because they could rush forward, or if it's just boneheaded decisions from his teammates like DK Metcalf, who had a very similar meltdown in Lambeau a couple years ago when he was with the Seahawks. You can't do it. Like the Steelers still had a shot until DK I guess, just melted down. I don't know what the hell he's thinking there, but that was just one of the most boneheaded moments you'll see on a football field, because then it put them in, way behind the sticks. They go from, I think, like 3rd and 2 to 3rd and 15 or whatever, and it's just over after that. Packers got the ball back, scored, and it was done. So, yeah, I really thought Rodgers played well tonight, and it's hard for me to put much of this loss on him, Jim, how are you, man? Jordan Love is a special talent. I'm glad everyone got to see it tonight. Totally agree. Especially, you heard Matt, if you listen to the post-game presser, he said, Jordan was getting hot, and that's why, kind of leaned into it. I was like, can we lean into that a little bit earlier in the game? But yes, he was outstanding tonight. No doubt about it. You could see it meant something to him. And not that they all, of course, mean something, but he knew the microscope he'd be under going into and during this game. And talk about delivering. He absolutely delivered again and again and again. Just great stuff from Love tonight. Ed, what's up? To see them play the second half after that first half is a very cool thing. Great fucking game. Yeah, and that's what you want, right? And that's why we always talk about a lot of ball game left. And I know people get sick of me saying it, but it's true. Like, the first half is just that. It's a first half. They play 4 quarters for a reason. A lot of ball game left. I was told the game was over. Pick your Aaron Nagler-ism, but I've watched too much football at this point to just sign off at halftime, right? Excellent work in the second half from both sides of the ball. Complimentary football was afoot throughout the second half. You love to see it. Pac-Man, what's up? Jordan Love is elite. Rex Ryan will never admit it. I just want to say something to everyone talking about Rex Ryan tonight, and I've seen a ton of it both in this chat and on my Twitter feed. He wins when you say these things, right? Like, he's in your head. He wins. ESPN wins. This is why Cheesehead TV exists, so you don't have to listen to that nonsense. But because you're referencing it, because you're perpetuating his ridiculousness, they win. That's all they want. Go out there, say something fucking ridiculous. Oh, and everyone will talk about it. That's it. That's a W for ESPN and for Rex Ryan. Lieutenant Dan, how are you, buddy? Time to build off this one. Happy. Look at Lieutenant Dan. Very different tenor after this one as opposed to last week against Arizona. I like it, Dan. Hope to see you at happy hour, buddy. Gavin, how are you, sir? Credit to Matt LaFleur for the second half changes. Jordan's play was simply fantastic. And as always, Micah Parsons. Yeah, I got to give some credit to Matt LaFleur for the approach and the things they did in the second half to really open things up. Although I will say, at some point, you got to give credit to the players. Particularly, I think the whole thing kind of kicks off because of that play by Tucker Kraft, where Love is blitzed up the middle and they get the initial protection down, but then it starts to get through, and he really just threw one up. And Kraft makes an incredible play. And obviously rumbles down for a bunch of yards and stiff arms 2 fools on his way. And that is an incredible play by Tucker Kraft. And that was essentially what got them going. So yeah, I do think Matt did nice work in the second half, but the players are the ones who got to do it. And they did it. Patrick, how are you, man? Packers fans at Heinz tonight, greater than Gold Package crowd. Okay, relax. The Gold Package crowd's been very good lately. And Heinz, it's not Heinz anymore. It's whatever the hell they call Azure Field or whatever it is. What's funny is, like, I'm sure they were wonderful. I know there were lots of Packers fans there. Really didn't see much of it on television. I saw a sea of Steelers kind of yellow and, the terrible towels and all that. But I have little doubt. I know there were tons of Packers fans there. So shout out to everyone in a green and gold uniform or shirt or jersey hanging out in Pittsburgh tonight. Jeff, appreciate the super sticker. Jamie Orth, let J Love cook, baby. What a fun game, man. Yeah, that second half was fun. No doubt about it. The second half was as fun as the first half was frustrating. Now let's see if they can put 4 quarters together. But yeah, man, Jordan Love on one. Absolutely on one. Cheeto, how are you, man? It seemed like we were losing a bit of control in the first half. Big kudos to the defense for keeping the Steelers in check as soon as they crossed the 50. That second half was the poetry I wanted. Yeah, Cheeto, I mentioned that earlier. I mean, the defense deserves a ton of credit for the way they limited the damage the Steelers offense did in the first half. It's the only reason they were in the game. That could have been a disastrous first half if they don't limit the Steelers scoring to field goals rather than touchdowns. And I know they got one in there late in the half, but for the most part, Halfley and crew kept that under wraps. And if they hadn't, that second half thing, narrative, whatever, it would have been very different. No doubt about it. Lewis, thank you, sir. Positive. We have Tucker Kraft. Positiver. We got a turnover. Positivist. We have Jordan Love. That's a lot of positivity. I don't know how to handle all that. But you're not wrong, man. Another game, another turnover. One last week, got one this week. Let's go. Let's keep it up. Patrick, thank you, sir. Nags, just want to thank you and CHTV. Packer games are better when it's a shared experience. Can't go to the bar with my buddies every week now that I have 3 kids. You guys fill that need every week. Patrick, that really means a lot, man. I really appreciate it. And God knows, it's why we do it, right? To your point, it's great to watch with friends. And if we can't all be together, yeah, let's all hang out online, right? And I get tons of people are out at bars, right? Or at the games themselves and having a great time. And that's awesome. But there are literally millions of people who would love to just hang out and watch the game, but they can't get there. They can't be with their friends. So that's where we come in. Appreciate it, man. Jamie, thanks again. Also, hell of a second half from Matt LaFleur. He deserves credit. He does. He does indeed. David, how are you, sir? Imagine if they played well for 4 quarters. Okay. Baby steps. Relax. That's what I said earlier. Let's see if we can put 4 quarters together. But hey, they got the W. They figured out how to do it. They figured out what needed to be done in the second half. And my God, did they do it in a big, big way. H.E. Pennybacker, thank you. Great win tonight. Love was incredible. We'll always love Rodgers. I'll be at Lambeau for the first time since 2007 next Sunday. Love your work, Nags. Thank you. And hey, have a great time next week at Lambeau Field. Don't forget, next week is the throwbacks, the 1923 classics. That's what the Packers will be wearing. You got the whites tonight, got the classics next week. So be ready, dress appropriately. Brian, what's up? It's almost like they had a plan. #love. And you kind of saw the fruits of that tonight, right? Yes, when the Packers moved on from Aaron Rodgers after drafting Jordan Love, they had a plan. And this was it. Having a young guy ascending, playing his best ball, entering his prime, rather than hanging on to the kind of exhaust fumes of a player and a group that had done as much as they were ever going to do, most likely, in Packers uniforms. It ain't show friends, it's show business. And always shout out and respect to Brian Gutekunst for recognizing what needed to be done and for doing it, even though it was extremely unpopular in some quarters. It's a tough gig, man. It's not for the faint of heart. But yes, tonight you saw why they wanted to move on. Raha, what's up, man? Thanks again. Not saying Wilson is better than Jacobs, but I wouldn't mind some more Wilson. He's been quietly awesome. Couldn't agree more. His change of pace ability, his kind of lightning to Jacobs' thunder, excellent. And look, it was funny because Corey said it on Watch Party tonight. Like, is Jacobs okay? Like, they continuously have these Wilson drives, and they've mixed Jacobs back in at times, but the offense doesn't downshift when he's in there. You know, he gives them a very different type of attacking back, and he has done everything that you could ever ask of the kind of backup running back 2, whatever you want to call him. He's been excellent. Out of the basically off the bench, whenever they've utilized him, he has delivered. And it's not always highlight plays, it's not always big yardage, but man, he has been everything you would want at that kind of spot, running back 2. Mario, how are you, man? J Love is that damn good. Letting him sling it in the second half of that game was the right approach. Changed the momentum of this game along with the pass rush. Yeah, Mario. I mean, the ability to get after the quarterback once you got a lead was so prevalent in that second half. Like I said earlier, the defense did yeoman's work in the first half, but once the offense got clicking, you really saw complementary football. And it all starts with Love and his ability. And hell, at one point, 20 in a row? Pretty damn special. Pretty damn special night from Jordan Love. Ohio Mike, thank you, sir. I shed all of my Packers gear at halftime. You're welcome. Love threw a masterpiece tonight, and Kraft was a badass mofo. Nice game from Emmanuel Wilson. Defense was resilient. What a game. Go, Pack, go. Ohio Mike, I got to ask you to not wear any Packers stuff throughout the rest of the season because this is clearly the issue here. Jerry, thank you, sir. In Montana on vacation, great way to finish it out. Jerry, really appreciate you coming in on Watch Party here on the post-game chat. Appreciate your support, man. John Mark, how are you? Hooray, a decades-long curse is over. Packers win. Go, Pack, go. No doubt about it. First Packers victory in Pittsburgh since 1970. The last time the Packers won in Pittsburgh, Bart Starr was their quarterback, not their coach, their quarterback. So Jordan Love has done something Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers could never do. Went into Pittsburgh and led his team to a victory. Pretty damn special stuff, man. Alex, thank you, sir. Will this game finally put in Matt's head to let Jordan cook more? Go, Pack, go. Doubt it. We'll see. I think it will be somewhat opponent dependent, but hopefully. Atomic Hound, how are you, man? A good part of tonight was not taking the bait from the bully and let the Steelers' bad behavior work against themselves. Spot on, man. I said this during Watch Party, I think about midway through the third quarter. The Packers were exemplary tonight, not responding or retaliating to the bullshit. And there were a couple scrapes, a couple post-play kind of altercations. Packers were very, very disciplined. And they, didn't back down, but they also never went over the line and never gave the officials a reason to throw the flag. That's big time because you saw, like I said earlier, Metcalf's incredibly dumb penalty. I'm not going to say cost them the game, but it made it exponentially more difficult for them to get back into it. Yes, the Packers throughout that roster deserve credit for being monk-like when it came to the provocations from Pittsburgh. Nick, thank you for the super chat, sir. Nixon equals Darnell Savage 2.0. I yell at the TV every week. He makes one or two plays here and there, and people prop him up as more than he is. CV greater than Nixon. Got to disagree with you there, man. He had a really rough night tonight. No question about it. But he's also had really good games, and the tape backs that up. I understand it was very frustrating seeing him essentially gift 2 first downs to the Steelers on penalties. Certainly rough night from Nixon. But that one game doesn't define him. And I get that people with priors, which I sense you have, are going to utilize this to try and pounce on him, but I don't buy it, man. I don't. I think he's a really good player. He had a really bad night. No doubt. Mike Witt, what's going on, man? I've said it before. I'll say it again. Kraft is a young George Kittle. And number 1 and 52, the best pass rushing duo since Reggie and Sean Jones. It always feels like overkill to compare any player now to Reggie and company. But, man, I tell you what, it's getting real. Micah Parsons is making it real difficult not to draw those comparisons. I don't know if I'd put Rashawn Gary on Sean Jones' level, but, man, they are producing. There's little doubt about it, especially when teams get into obvious passing situations. The way these guys have attacked the pocket and attacked the quarterback, man, it's fun times. And, yeah, it's been productive. You can't deny it. What else we got here? Jacko, how are you? Go, Pack, go. Jordan Love is him. I mean, pretty clearly at this point, if you're still holding out on Jordan Love, I don't know what more you need to see at this point. I guess he has to win a Super Bowl with the Packers for you to come on board if you're still holding out. But, man, they got it right. And Jordan is balling out. And we're so lucky as Packers fans to have him as our quarterback. Lewis, how are you, man? Not even Chris Nolan's Batman could save Pittsburgh in that second half. Damn fine half of football. We give it back to the people, to you. Nick, how are you, man? Positive note, love to see my guy Wilson balling out. Yeah, he had a really good game, like I said earlier. John, how are you, sir? Second half was the best they've looked since week 2. Very much agreed. And the kind of cascading of complementary football was just a joy to see. Defense picking up offense capitalizing when the defense gets a stop. Just phenomenal stuff. And I agree, man. Like, that was the kind of most complete they've looked since those first 2 games. Very much agreed. Mike, how are you? Would love to know Rex Ryan's opinion of Jordan's game tonight. Well, like I said earlier, you're referencing Rex means that ESPN wins. Danny, how are you, man? It's always 8 all day. Jacobs turns the wheel. You going to the Packers-Giants November 16th? Danny, I am going to Packers-Giants on November 16th. So if you're out and about prior to the game, I'll be kind of wandering the parking lots looking for tailgates. I've got a bunch of offers and invites already. I'll definitely be stopping by as many as I can. And also the night before, we'll be having a meetup at Kettle of Fish here in New York in the Village. So yeah, lots coming that weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. Brendan, thank you for the super chat. Rex Ryan is eating his damn words after tonight. Jordan was on one. Go, Pack, go. Brendan, no, he's not eating his words. He's won because you're talking about him. Steve, how are you, man? Love was exceptional in the second half. I'm celebrating with Popeye's spicy chicken buzzing and grooving. Go, Pack, go. Oh, man. I love me some Popeyes. That's a good call right there. Bill, what's up? Hey, special teams, join the party. Don't be shy. Now, look, they had a few mishaps. They had a missed kick and a penalty here or there, but their coverage units tonight were fucking great. Let's, if we're going to dish it out and complain about stuff, we also have to show love when things go well. And their coverage units were really good tonight. I know no one wants to talk about it. All we want to do is complain about Bisaccia, but their coverage units were really on point throughout this game, meaning the Steelers had to work and drive long fields. Whether that's punt or kick, all the coverage units were really good tonight. I'm just putting it out there. Dustin, how are you, man? We just beat a 5-2 team under the Sunday Night Football lights. What a great win, and what a way for this team to fight. I love this team. Go, Pack, go. And guess what? We winning. Were they 5-2 or 4-2? I can't remember, but yes, they beat a winning team in their house on the road in front of the whole nation, and Jordan Love balled out. What's not to like? Shaheem, what's up? Watson played his ass off tonight, especially blocking, but missed his explosiveness X factor. Tucker Kraft, top 3 tight end this year. Oh, no doubt on that last part. Watson absolutely played his ass off, but don't worry about the explosiveness, etc. That will all come. Those opportunities will be there. And you saw a glimpse of it. That play where Love rolls to his right and then throws across his body. Those moments will come. But you were right. There were a number of times where you saw him blocking, doing the dirty work. He is just a excellent football player. And it was great to have him back out there. Matt, what's going on, man? Man, Pack get the W over Rodgers. Vikings get absolutely smacked. Bears lose, and I'll likely get W's in both fantasy leagues. Not too bad of a weekend, Matt. Enjoy it, brother. These types of weekends don't come along too often. Revel in it, my man. Porkmaster, how are you? Be still my heart. Complimentary football. It's a wonder, right? When it happens and when you see it occur, especially on the regular, like it did in the second half. It's like, why don't they do this all the time? But yes, phenomenal stuff. Mike Witt, how are you, man? Great game. That being said, the slow starts on offense is kind of getting scary. Let's start faster versus Carolina next week. Go, Pack, go. Mike, it's only scary if you're afraid, and I'm not afraid. Come on, man. You see what the team is capable of. They'll let it click at some point. Don't be scared, dude. Champions fear no one and respect everyone. Just get after it next week. Colin, how are you, man? Was at the game, Nags. Insane how many Packers fans were there. Go Pack. Well, that's great to hear. Like I said earlier, I didn't see a ton of evidence of it on the broadcast, but I know tons of people who were there. So I'm really happy that Packers fans were repping like they always do. Overshadow, how are you, man? Apologies for missing tonight. I've been watching Judas Priest and Alice Cooper rock Houston. Phone updates just aren't the same. Go Pack Go. Dog, sounds like you had an awesome night, though. Hot damn, what a ticket. But we'll expect you back here next week. Thank you. Craig, thank you, sir. Micah Parsons is the defensive equivalent of an elite quarterback. Question, compare, and contrast. Caleb Williams and Jordan Love draft day analysis. You mean when everybody questioned why the Packers did what they did when they traded up for Jordan Love, as opposed to, oh, it was a no-brainer. The absolute best decision the Bears could make was taking Caleb Williams. Oh, and it's interesting. Caleb Williams shitting the bed today against the Ravens, while Drake May has another phenomenal performance. The player that apparently Ryan Poles had no interest in even entertaining the possibility of the Bears drafting. It's almost like Trubisky over Mahomes 2.0. I mean, it's early, but, Packers know the position. The Bears don't. It's in their blood. It's in our blood. It's the difference. Welcome. Soder, how are you, sir? I'm buying a DeLorean and building a flux capacitor, going back in time to make sure Sean Hockley isn't a thing in the NFL. Do better, NFL. Yeah, another rough night for the Zebras and Sean and his crew in particular. I don't want to get too far into it because God knows you're just pissing in the wind. But, man, frustrating. No doubt about it. Paul, what's up? Let's go! Kicker controversy? What a juxtaposition. I don't know, man. I doubt it, but we'll see. Be very interesting to see how they handle the kicker spot this week. Andrew, thank you, sir. I don't want to work. Let's go. Yes, exactly. Of course, we all do have to get up and go to work tomorrow, but you know what? Do we really? Do we really? Come on now. Brett, thank you, sir. Need a restock on toilet paper, and Costco ain't open at this hour. Terrible towel it is. Go Pack Go. Also, Pappy Fund. Wow, the Pappy Fund reference in 2025. That means you're old school, Brett. Appreciate you, buddy. Kai, what's up? Is Golden underutilized? No, Golden's a rookie. He's still learning things and doing what's asked, and he'll continue to improve and get utilized as he improves and develops. Look, they're not going to force him the ball at any point, and they started to give him the ball a little bit more in the second half, but, Savion Williams got a touchdown tonight, and he had, 2 touches? I mean, it's all about time and place and being able to keep the opponent off balance. I love Golden. I think he's immensely talented. But, for the time being, he is still a rookie and he's still coming along. But now who knows? I mean, the NFL is littered. And I mean, this is very real over the course of the last 5 years in particular, where rookie receivers, very inconsistent through the first half of the season, then suddenly come alive in the second half. And I tend to think that's probably what's going to happen with Golden. But we'll see. There's a lot. It's the difference between being a college receiver and an NFL receiver is like Dorothy landing in Oz, and everything goes from black and white to color. You go from having 5 or 6 different options on a route to 100 different options on a route. How you're reading defenses, how you're reading leverage. You got to be in lockstep with the quarterback when it comes to his timing and his drop. And there's just so much that goes into it that we aren't, appreciative of. He'll get his time. He'll have his moment. No doubt about it. Bob, what's up, man? I think that is the most dominant we have seen Jordan since the beating Jerry Boy in the wild card. Go Pack Go. Yeah, in that second half in particular. And even in the first half, here's the frustrating part, man. If they just catch the fucking ball in the first half, he has an opportunity to look even more dominant. Because then they extend drives and he gets more opportunities, probably puts up more points, etc. But yeah, man, I keep saying he was on one tonight. No doubt. Travis, what's up, man? They kind of force-fed Dobbs in the first 20 minutes or so. Then they made adjustments to get Kraft and Christian the ball to get more explosive. Love it. Travis, you see, it's interesting. It's interesting that people frame it that way. And I'm not saying you're wrong, but, Jordan Love's pulling the trigger. Jordan Love's the one throwing to Romeo Dobbs. He's not being forced to do that. And yes, there's progressions, and Dobbs is often a number one target, but, there's some of it is by the quarterback's decision-making. Not necessarily, Matt LaFleur or the Packers offensive coaching staff saying you must throw to Romeo Dobbs. You must get the ball to Romeo. At some point, the quarterback is making the reads and making the throws, and that's his decisions, and it's fine. Just got to catch the ball, especially in that first third down. Lewis, what's up, man? Ryan and Morgan went in shifts. Did okay. Thoughts? Yeah, I noticed that, Lewis. I have zero thoughts until I go back and watch it. It's really hard to give any kind of, cohesive ideas on line play without going back and watching the tape. I thought the only time I even noticed was I think Sean Ryan got beat like instantly on some pressure. And I was like, oh, look, Sean Ryan's in. Other than that, man, it's not fair to the guys to say anything one way or the other without kind of going and looking at it. Raha says, Yeoman's work in pass pro by the offensive line tonight. There were so many times, I think I lost track, 10, 12 times where on Watch Party, I was like, Jordan Love with a really good pocket. Yeah, they certainly kept him clean. Now, you're always going to want it better for certain plays and certain moments. Like I said earlier, like I just said, that sometimes you're allowing instant pressure and you can't have that, etc. But yes, there were a number of times when Jordan Love had time to survey the field and make good decisions. No doubt. Steve, what's up? Just got to give a hat tip to Boswell. Guy's a stud. It's nice when you make all your kicks, right? And yes, you're not wrong, man. He is a weapon. Bentley, how are you, sir? Can't wait to go to my first Packers game next week after being a fan for 15 years. I'm from Pennsylvania and know many Steelers fans, including my girlfriend. Feels good. Bentley, that was a journey right there. Man, have a great time at the game, dude. That's awesome. And I'm glad you get bragging rights over the girlfriend this week in particular. It happened to me last year when I played, the Packers played the Saints, and my girlfriend is a Saints fan. So it feels good to be walking around like having that in your pocket, right? But, man, have the best time at Lambeau. That's awesome. Ian, how are you, sir? Nags, I believe no matter what, I loved our record and where Love is about to go to the top. I mean, if he keeps it up, everything we saw tonight, no question about it. Dylan Ward, thank you for the super sticker. Greatly appreciate the support. Thank you, sir. Jerry Mannion, so much love for Cheesehead TV. Always have my support. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Mike Witt. And I got to say it again. Thank you, Jerry. Can you fathom that? I mean, look how bad the Cowboys are on defense. They gave this player to us. Like, I get it. They got 2 first-round picks, and they got Kenny Clark, and God bless Kenny. But, man, they gave us Micah Parsons. Insanity, man. Insanity. Pac-Man, how are you? Corey's not eating his words on McManus. Am I right? See, now wait a second. To Corey's point, all he did on Twitter was ask a question. And people framed it and saw it and viewed it however they wanted to. He didn't say McManus was a bum. He didn't say McManus shouldn't be playing. He just asked, why would someone buy a McManus jersey? And people ran with it, which is fine. Hey, Brandon McManus himself retweeted it and offered, a signed jersey to the guy who was wearing it, which is pretty dope. But all that said, McManus better start making his kicks. That's a rough one tonight. Peter, thank you, sir. The officials did a really good job controlling the game today. Wait a second. Is this Sean Hochuley's burner account? I think they did an okay job keeping a lid on some of the extracurricular stuff. But, man, as far as adjudicating the game itself, please. William, how are you, sir? Do you think they are resting Jacobs a bit since the injury? Watson is so important to the offense's success. Bears and Vikings losing this weekend was the icing on the cake. Bears still suck. William, you got all of that one. I do think there's a idea of maybe not a strict pitch count, but certainly limiting the wear and tear on Jacobs in the middle of the season, dealing with the calf injury. Let's utilize Emmanuel Wilson to good effect, right? And because we know there's 8 more games to play, you got to make sure that Jacobs is there for the long haul. So I do think there's probably some of that thought process. Joe, what's up? Get Up on ESPN is fun for the overreactions. If that's your thing, man, if that's what drives you, cool. If that's what you enjoy, rock and roll. Brendan, what's up? I enjoy Mike Tirico calling football games. I do too. I just wish he wasn't with Collinsworth, who is really falling off. But yeah, man, Tirico's awesome. And I always, whenever I think of Mike Tirico calling a Packers game, all I can think of, the first thing that comes to mind is that bomb from Favre to Jennings I think it's the first play of overtime out in Denver. Unbelievable. That Tirico's call on that play is phenomenal. So I'm with you, man. I love Tirico on the call. Mike, what's up? Nags always wondered, did Olive ever get the dog? No, she did not. She did not. She said she wanted like a rabbit or a hedgehog or some nonsense instead, which we negotiated around. Craig, how are you, sir? A couple deep balls to Dobbs with Golden and Watson. Do you think that was a scheme thing? Why not take the deep shots with one of those two? Well, because you, Craig, myself, and probably every other human in the building and watching expect exactly what you're talking about. And again, Love's the one taking the shots. Yes, there's a 9 route there, but that doesn't automatically mean the coach was sitting there and goes, you have to throw deep to Dobbs here. Love saw a matchup he thought he liked, and he thought Dobbs would win, and he took a shot. I'm with you, though, man. I would like to see some of those shots go to a Golden or a Watson at some point. We'll get there. It'll happen. Ryan, what's up? Extend craft. Trust me, they will. Michael, how are you, sir? Who is your unsung hero of the game? Go Pack Go. I can't really say Emmanuel Wilson because God knows he's been sung a lot tonight. That's a good question, man. I'll probably go with like Evan Williams and Xavier McKinney, who, maybe didn't put a ton of quote stats in the stat sheet tonight, but man, they held it down on the back end of that defense, and they really made Rodgers have to like play patient until he couldn't. I thought both of them seemed to play a good game, but again, got to go back and look at some of the coverage stuff that's never really prevalent on screen. Elijah, what's up? How goes the progress with developing AI Banky? Man, I got enough trouble trying to deal with real life Banky. I don't need AI Banky in my life. Ryan, thank you, sir. The more wide receivers the Packers hoard, the less there are to go around to other teams. Go Pack, go. I mean, you're not wrong, dude. Like, keep them all. Keep every one of them. Michael, thank you for the super sticker. Bill, thanks again. So happy for Christian Watson, as you should be, man. Great to see him out there. The fact that he was hurt in December, late December, now he's back out on a football field in October. Or no, sorry, it wasn't even late December. It was January. It was the first week of January. I mean, this year, he was hurt in January of 2025, and he's back out on the football field October 2025. That's fucking impressive, man. And that's a testament to his hard work. Carl, what's up, man? I saw several negative comments about Savion Williams tonight. I don't get it. I think he's got something and looking forward to his development. I saw him too, and a lot of them got their stuff put back in their face after he scored a touchdown. Man, I get it. Fans are just impatient. It's the same stuff about Golden. Like, well, why aren't they utilizing him more? Why is he scoring touchdowns? Whatever. It's like, it'll come, man. So I hear you. Yeah, I do think they have something there. Like you guys know, he was one of my draft crushes, and I think he's got a lot to offer, but he's still very just scratching the surface of what he's capable of. December King, Appreciate the super sticker. Ryan, thank you, sir. Hell of a win tonight. Sadly, had to put my pooch down on Friday, and she would have loved me dancing around and singing some Bang on the Drum. Go, Pack, go. Ryan, that's tough, man. I'm so sorry, man. But you know what? You did have a great time tonight. And like you said, she would have loved it. Michael, what's up, man? Still wish 9 would high point those deep balls. Michael out here doing his best wide receiver coach impression. Dog, what? Stop. Just stop. Just stop. You mean the one he caught that Love threw across his body? Just enjoy it, man. Just enjoy it. It's a great play. Like, what? December King. Thank you, sir. Smelling salt number 8 used in the huddle. Suspension? Nope. Absolutely not a suspension. You're allowed to provide your own. They only outlawed teams providing smelling salts. You can use your own. You can bring your own. You can use your own. Team's not allowed to provide it. That's the only change. Smelling salts are still allowed. Peter, what's up, man? Who is the best analyst in the game? That's a great question. I assume you mean like Monday through Friday, whatever, not in game, like calling the games. Although if you are saying that, the latter, it's Greg Olson, and I don't think it's close. You're talking about between, game to game during the week. It's really tough. My favorites are probably Mina Kimes and Chris Long. I think both of them do phenomenal work in, different ways, but they're probably my 2 favorite people to listen talk ball. Ian, what's up, man? I love McManus, and I'm not worried. However, I did see someone at the game say he missed a bunch in warmups. Did anyone ask Matt LaFleur about that? No. Sadly, Pete Doherty pretty much had a one-on-one with LaFleur in the postgame because everyone was in the locker rooms. We'll see. I'm sure he'll be asked about it tomorrow. Craig, thanks again, man. Really appreciate what you do. You are my go-to for the postgame community. Taking my boys to see Jordan Love for the first time next weekend at the Panthers game. Go, Pack, go. Craig, have the absolute best time, and thank you so much for the kind words. Really appreciate it. All right, everybody, I got to get going. Cannot thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, and post-game each and every week. Please do me a monster favor and hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family, Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. Go, Pack, go.